Wonderful. All right, guys, we are going to be talking about some free agents now instead of mock drafts. So, SI put out their top 50, and the Browns have been connected to Rasheed Walker, Travis Kelce, and Elijah Vera Tucker. So I want to ask you guys if you have any want for any of those three.
I mean, Travis Kelce? Of course I'd want Travis Kelce.
For sure.
Why would he? I mean, we know what the only reason he come here is because obviously he's from Cleveland.
Right.
But is he going to leave the Chiefs to play 1 year here?
Real quick.
I was shocked when I saw this.
So did you see the article itself?
No, because I had to kept
double
making me
take
try
it.
to sign in.
Yeah.
So Sports Illustrated has gone so far. It's gone so far down.
Yeah.
Basically, they ranked their top 50 free agents.
Yeah.
And said best fits.
Yeah.
And best fits in teams interested or teams who should be interested, and gave the projected contract that the player would get. So the Browns were in their best fits or teams who should be interested for those three players. That's why those three came up out of the list.
Right, Travis. If the Browns signed Kyler Murray and were really trying to win this year, then trying to go after Travis Kelce would make a lot of sense. I can't wait. He's going to leave Kansas City. I
think it's an easy. Would you do it? Yes.
Yeah.
Will it happen? No, unless I don't see
I'd be
anywhere
shocked.
where he leaves. Yeah,
I'd be shocked.
But Dustin, you would do it in a heartbeat too, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And it makes some sense. I mean, like, if he's thinking about retiring, which he obviously is, he's been in the league for how many years now?
Yeah, a while.
Long time.
13 years or whatever it is.
That was the projected contract. By
I mean,
the way.
he's still.
It'd probably be cool for him
good.
to be able to say he played for the Browns. And I know he's a Chief through and through, that whole thing,
Yeah.
but like he still loves Cleveland.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
It would be awesome if Travis Kelce. I mean, what's funny is last year was his worst year ever, and that's better than any year David Njoku ever had.
Pull up the stats again real quick, Ant. But last year
He still played the whole season, didn't he?
yeah, I think he had. I mean,
Can you see that again? There we go.
non-traditional Travis. He had more yards and touchdowns than Harold Fannin, I think, and it's not a knock on Harold Fannin, but
No, this guy's a Hall of Famer.
Look at how we talked about Harold Fannin's rookie
Yeah,
season
right.
and how much hype and promise.
Travis
he had for what
Kelce's
he
played
could
with Patrick Mahomes.
do. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like,
But yeah, the
from
point
a pure
is,
number standpoint, that's Kelce's worst year, which was better than Fannin, and we have the highest of high expectations for what Fannin could develop into based off what we saw as a rookie, which was not as good as year 16 or whatever it is for Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
I would take it in a heartbeat. If he would want to come to Cleveland, 1 year, $10 million, in a heartbeat.
Who are the other guys? Elijah Vera Tucker's an offensive lineman.
He did not play last year for the Jets.
Yeah.
Was hurt. Former first-round pick out of USC. Was drafted as a tackle, got moved into guard. When he's been healthy, he's been very good.
Yeah.
The issue is it's a gigantic when. You see the 2024 grades? It's because he didn't play in 2025.
Right.
He's a guy, if your coaching staff and your training staff believe you can get the best out of Elijah Vera Tucker in terms of health, whatever the injuries he's had in the
what's
past,
he going to cost?
the projection was 1 year, $10 million.
So that's a no-brainer.
And once again, another.
The guy you traded,
heartbeat.
he's better than the guy you traded for, and you gave
Just
up,
can't stay healthy, yeah.
and you paid him more money, and you gave up a draft pick. So
Yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat once again.
yeah, that makes
in a
sense.
heartbeat.
And then who was the third player?
Rasheed Walker, the left tackle.
Oh, yeah.
And this projected contract was 4 for $80, so $20 million a year.
So you're already paying. So that'd be $50 million for this year for 3 offensive linemen. Listen, if you do that, they have the money. They could do it with all these restructures.
They could find the money, yeah.
You would drastically change the offensive line. In theory, if you sign Wallace,
Yep.
you sign Elijah Vera Tucker. He's playing left guard, right?
Walker, not Wallace. Walker.
Walker.
Yeah.
Walker's playing left tackle. Vera Tucker, does he play left guard or right guard?
I think he's played more right guard, but I'm sure.
Whatever.
He
You play him at right guard. The guy you traded for yesterday is playing right tackle. You use Whippler at center, and then you only need
You draft someone in the second, third, fourth round as an interior
you
offensive
draft
lineman.
another guard, and you would dramatically change your offensive line overnight. And then in theory, you use the first round pick on a wide receiver. You could still draft 2 offensive linemen and 2 wide receivers with your first 4 picks, in theory.
Yeah.
It would also open the possibility, something we're going to talk about tomorrow, of just taking the best player available, which is probably a defensive player, and making his strength even stronger. I do listen. To me, I'm only doing all these moves if I'm either signing Kyler Murray or convinced that Malik Willis is going to be a star and I'm signing him. Because if I'm going into the season with we'll see what happens with Shador, or we're going to sign some other slappy veteran who's not any good, I don't see the point of like bringing in all these other guys, especially older guys. But if you sign Kyler Murray, that means you're going for it.
Yeah.
To me. And then do all that. Let's go. Because if you could dramatically improve the offensive line and improve the wide receiving core, again, tough chore. But if you can do that, if Kyler Murray plays to his best ability, the Browns could definitely be a playoff team next year.
1,000%.
That's a lot of ifs, but it's definitely possible, right? Yeah.
1,000%. Yeah, for sure. I mean, they could have been a playoff team last year if they had better quarterback play.
That's true.
And they didn't have anybody at receiver really to throw. Yeah. Excuse me. You got to think that Jerry Jeudy would step his game up.
He'd be better. He'll be better next
Fannon's going to be better.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Judkins is going to be fine by the beginning of the season.
He's going to be fine, yeah. I mean, dude, don't get me too excited.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of possibilities.
Yeah.
You could even go really crazy, draft Jeremiah Love, have a backfield with 2 stud running backs, draft a wide receiver at 26, a guard in the second round. Let's go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with you. The Browns and Andrew Berry at the Combine, and once again, Andrew Berry's a professional liar. Every general manager, every coach is professional. I know we just talked about the information they're giving out.
Yes.
Like, they are professional liars. And he said, we're not going to be hyper-aggressive in free agency. We think we're still a year away from getting into that. Spend a lot of money to kind of improve the roster mode, which you could read into that however you want. The reality is, if you go get a player like a Kyler Murray, or a Malik
which in the end, I don't think they're going to. But if they did, that would change the plan.
It changes everything that Andrew Berry has said to this point. Now, if they're going to go through 2026 as a developmental year, let Todd Monken get his hands on the young players on the team and figure out, hey, who do I believe in? Who do I think has potential? Who do I think can reach the level we need to play competitive football for a consistent basis, not just in a one-game off scenario? Then I don't think spending a ton of money in free agency outside of the offensive line makes a ton of sense. You can invest in the offensive line, and I don't love Rasheed Walker for whatever it's worth. I was reading some stuff on him. I don't know if he's worth $20 million.
He's not. Well, I mean, but you pay the other guy $20 million, the right?
I don't know if Titus Howard's worth $20 million.
He's not worth $20 million.
So my point is that's the going rate. I don't know if that's the best use of investments, but you need to start because you can't flip an offensive line in 1 year. So that's the one position group where I would like to see some investment.
Yeah.
Maybe not $20 million for a player, but if there's a guard that's a little cheaper, like finding somewhere in free agency to improve, because whether it's this year, whether it's next year, whether it's Shador, whether it's a 2027 quarterback, whether it's Kyler Murray, whether it's Malik Willis, whoever it is, they're not going to succeed behind the current iteration of the Browns' offensive line. Why? Because it doesn't exist. They don't have guys under contract, so you're not going to find 5 new starters in one offseason. You can build the foundation with a Titus Howard for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Someone else you sign. Like, that's the avenue I think the Browns should pursue with the most aggressiveness in free agency. The Travis Kelce, you're not bringing him in unless you get a quarterback.
Really
Unless you're getting Kyler Murray.
And again, it's a long shot that he would come here, but if he really thought he had a chance to win, maybe, well, who knows what's going on inside his head? You never know.
Maybe
he wants to play at home for 1 year.
I do like the idea of Elijah Vera Tucker, though, in all seriousness.
Yeah, he makes a lot of sense, especially at $10 million.
Yeah, and I would try to lock him up for. I know, once again, I know it's risky, but
you wouldn't have to give him any guaranteed money beyond year one.
The way they could finagle it, but like when he's played, he's been really good.
Yeah,
and I think he's a 12th pick for the Jets a couple of years ago. Like, he was a high pick, came out of USC, was a highly regarded prospect.
Yeah.
Just staying on the field's been his issue. If they can get him to stay on the field on a consistent basis, like, he's a plug-and-play, very good guard with the versatility to play outside if he needs to, and with Titus Howard, who has played multiple positions on the offensive line, that just gives you 2 chess pieces to put your best 5-man line out there without necessarily penciling everyone into a specific position. You can't mix and match. So whether DeJuan Jones maybe kicks inside to guard at some point, whether he's healthy enough to play.
I think you have to treat DeJuan Jones.
No, I'm just saying when you're looking at how the Browns can create their best 5 offensive linemen, you have 2 moving pieces if you were to sign Vera Tucker and Titus Howard that have the versatility and flexibility to allow you to get your best 5-man unit out there.
Yeah. I mean, I think you signed Titus Howard because he's going to play right tackle.
I'm just saying,
could move him, but
he played more guard last year than he did tackle.
Yeah.
And that was because injuries on their line necessitated.
But he is a right tackle. I mean, they're going to play him at right tackle. I'd be shocked if they didn't play him there.
But yeah, Elijah Vera Tucker makes a lot of sense. It does. What else was in? Is there anything else interesting in this article? I didn't.
Let me see if I can get through the 38 different.
How many ads you got to close?
Hold on. So please filibuster for a second.
In terms of like, where did they have Malik Willis going? Do you remember?
If you give me
Miami?
1 sec, I'll pull it up.
I think
I still think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, if Jeff Hafley, who was obviously their OC, liked him that much, you'd think he'd want to bring him into Miami.
Do we know, is Waddle going to be on the move this summer?
There were rumors about it, but I don't know. If you're the Dolphins, there were rumors about Waddle and A-Chain getting traded, but they're your two best skill players. Why would you trade them?
Yeah.
Full rebuild?
I mean, those are young players. I'd rather sign them to extensions and build around them.
Right. They're already established
agree.
good players that you
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Yeah, trading those guys doesn't make any sense unless, they're bad locker room guys.
got the
Waddle's
article.
not. I don't know. I don't know about A-Chain. He doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. Yeah.
Negative about him. Go ahead.
All right, give me a play. They had Trey Hendrickson as the number 1 rated free agent.
Yeah, Tampa Bay, I heard.
Tampa, the Colts, and the Patriots were the 3 possible landing spots. 3 years, $105 million.
I was surprised the Bengals didn't franchise tag him again.
Me too.
But I think it was time for him to move on, and I think there's a chance Trey Hendrickson goes completely off a cliff. But because he didn't have a good year this past year. But anyway, go ahead.
Tyler Linderbaum, number 2.
Yeah.
Ravens, Giants, Chargers as potential landing
All right.
spots. 4 for 84.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, the number 3 free agent.
He's the number 3 free agent? The hell's he done?
Not sure. Colts, Commanders, 3 for 75, so 25 per.
3 for 75 for Alec Pierce?
Malik Willis, number 4.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Jets, top 2 landing spots for them. 2 for 60. Some other names, Jalen Phillips, 3 for 55.
All right. Well,
Rasheed Walker was their 8th ranked free agent, by the
Okay.
way, the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, most really good players do not get to free agency.
Yeah.
Well, isn't Kenneth Walker going to be a free agent?
Yeah, they have 3 for 39 for Kenneth Walker.
Where do they have him going? Guess.
The Giants.
That makes no sense. You have Scadaboo and Tracy. I know he's better than those guys.
Scadaboo might miss a little bit of the season. He's coming off that.
I
ankle
like
injury.
You trust Scadaboo? That guy's a.
He
wants to run his head into
I don't know. I
a
like
brick
Tyrone
wall.
Tracy, but whatever.
He's a good player, but
Yeah.
dude,
Kenneth
Walker
Walker's
is special.
He is. But you'd think there'd be a team more desperate for a running back.
So, other guys we mentioned with the Browns. Sorry to cut you off. Romeo Dobbs.
Yeah, we've talked about him before.
3 for 57. Would you do that?
3 for 57?
Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, that's $20 million, $19 million a year for a third receiver.
Rashid Shaheed. 2 for 30.
Wow, he's going to get through. I don't know.
These
I
are
shouldn't even get
projections.
the cap's going way up.
The money's going up. Dude.
Yeah. I like Shaheed. We've talked about him with the Browns too.
We'll do something else. David Edwards was one of the guards we mentioned.
Oh yeah, right.
3 for 48.
Wasn't he on the Ravens or no? Patriots.
Bills.
I got it wrong both cases.
3 for 48.
This money's just outrageous.
Man, good for them.
I picked the wrong time to be born.
Oh man.
Jermaine Illuminor.
I didn't pick it.
Another tackle. 2 for 32.
Yeah.
So you're paying, $16 million for.
Yeah, I mean, again, remember the cap's.
No, I'm just saying that's the going
shot
price.
up.
Yeah.
The cap's gone up $100 million in the last 4 years.
Isaiah Likely. What do you think for Isaiah Likely?
2 for 30 based on these numbers.
3 for 35.
Oh, 3 for 35. Okay.
So that's the going price for these guys.
What do they got Njoku on there? Is he even a top 50?
He was number 40. I saw he was number 49.
Oh, okay. What do they got him?
Shoot, I gotta scroll it back.
Boy.
Give me one. I got this.
Yeah.
Njoku 2 for 20.
Okay.
10 million. So
somebody
same
else-
annual average value.
After his
as
performance
Travis
last year,
Kelce.
that's good for him if he gets that.
Yeah, how does he get 2 for 20 and Kelce 1 for 10? I understand
older?
in terms. What's that?
Isn't Kelsey older?
But who cares?
Njoku?
Right, but I mean,
In terms of the-
Kelce may only play a year.
Right, but I just mean in terms of the average money.
It is the same. Yeah, the average money's the same.
You're going to pay David Njoku the same amount of money as Travis Kelce?
Kelsey's better than Njoku.
Way better.
There's no